10, 9, 8, 7, power, 6, 5, power, 4, power, 3, 2, one more. Good. Under here. Roll under the bed.
Slide over here. Slide over here. You drop on the shots like this. You go here. Here. Here.
If I get him where I need him to be, he's gonna sleep for sure. Soften him up.
I couldn't find reliable confirmation that Floyd Mayweather Jr. has officially reunited with Gervonta Davis for a training camp ahead of the Jake Paul fight. If you like, I can dig a bit deeper and try to locate more credible sources, articles, interviews, official social posts, and we can evaluate whether this claim holds up or is just speculation.
Fans, the real ones that know that this is no easy fight. He's very skilled, and I'm going to go on the line and say this may be the most skillful person that Tank has faced thus far.
I just don't want to look bad come fight night. My biggest fear has been embarrassed, especially in front of like all these people, like worldwide. Then you be like, come this mean for deck, like, you know, like I ain't got time for that. I'm not trying to go out getting my butt kicked.
Many fans believe Mayweather stepping back into Tank's corner changes everything. Floyd's been under the brightest lights in boxing history. He knows how to handle pressure, media storms, and unpredictable opponents. And Jake Paul, for all the chaos and controversy he brings, he is unpredictable. So the reunion doesn't just look symbolic. It looks strategic. It signals that this isn't just another influencer crossover stunt. This is Tank tightening every screw, sharpening every tool, and preparing like this fight is personal. Now the conversation has shifted. What started as spectacle is starting to look like a statement.
They just want things right now. They want to see nothing but excitement. They want to be entertained. They don't want to pay a lot of money to come to a fight to watch two guys just jab, grab.
Gervonta Davis has made a name for himself by pushing past his limits every time he steps into training camp. And this time is no exception. Recent footage and insider reports show him drilling speed, timing, and knockout power with intense focus. His coaches point out how sharp he's been looking. Fast movement, clean punches, and complete control even at high intensity. His footwork appears quicker than ever, allowing him to glide around the ring without wasting energy. Everyone in his camp understands that this matchup requires absolute perfection, so Tank isn't leaving any weaknesses unchecked. Whether he's working on angles, counter, timing, or defensive reactions, the tempo of his training shows how seriously he views Jake Paul as an opponent. Leonard Ellaby has made it clear that he believes Tank is the biggest attraction in the sport right now. According to him, nobody delivers excitement the way Gervonta Davis does. Fans don't show up or tune in just to watch a decision win. They come because Tank guarantees a show. Ellaby says people don't pay for slow, friendly, sparring-style matches. They want tension, danger, and that sudden, explosive ending Tank is famous for. His knockouts aren't just moments in a fight. They become highlight clips, debates, and viral memories that stick with the sport. Tank understands the responsibility of being a star. If people are spending their money and time, he's going to give them something unforgettable. And this fight with Jake Paul, controversy and hype included, is another stage for Tank to prove that he is the most thrilling fighter of this generation.
They just want things right now. They want to see nothing but excitement. They want to be entertained. They don't want to pay a lot of money to come to a fight to watch two guys just jab, grab. Again, that's why Tank Davis is the most exciting fighter in the entire world, because he gives the fans exactly what they want.
And speaking of familiarity, you mentioned that earlier. This is somewhat of a familiar foe in Oscar De La Hoya via Ryan Garcia, Floyd Mayweather, Tank Davis. There's some old connotations there. How much is Mayweather Promotions and PBC looking to deal a blow to the Golden Boy brand by knocking out their stalwart in Ryan Garcia?
Oh, that's happening. That's happening. And then again, it's always good. You know, it's great. It'll be great for Tank.
Paulie Malignaggi argues that boxing needs to protect its identity. From his perspective, a matchup like Tank Davis versus Jake Paul feels more like entertainment than real competition. He's concerned that a sport built on legacy, discipline, and high-level skill is slowly turning into something that resembles a scripted show where popularity matters more than talent. Malignaggi points out that if wins aren't earned against worthy opponents, then the emotional weight of knockout doesn't mean anything. Casual fans might get excited, but the dedicated boxing community is left disappointed, worried that the sport's authenticity is slipping away. Speaking with Chris Algieri, Malignaggi emphasized that poorly matched fights do more damage to boxing's reputation than good. He believes the sport needs to return its focus to real, competitive matchups between top fighters, the kind that preserve boxing's legacy and keep its spirit alive.
Knockouts, dude. Knockouts. People like knockouts. They don't care if you're knocking out cab drivers. Look at Jake Paul's career.
You can manufacture that though. You can manufacture that though. You can manufacture knockouts.
You can't manufacture.
To a degree, you can. To a degree, I mean, you can. Yeah, Gervonta legitimately cannot get knockouts. I agree. He can punch, but there's a lot of limited knockout artists though, man.
He's one of the least active punchers in the game with the highest knockout percentage of current heavyweight.
But if he was a real knockout artist,
champions.
If he was a real knockout artist, prop him up against the best of the best. Felix Trinidad was a knockout artist. He was knocking out the best of the best. If you're a real knockout artist, prop him up against the best and show us how he smokes them. But the way Wayne did when Felix Trinidad was doing it. You know, the way they did when Mike Tyson was doing it in his prime. Okay, say what you want about the Mike Tyson era. He knocked out everyone from 1986 to 1989. Everyone got knocked out. Everyone.
Well, by your standard, you could say that Tyson was to a degree manufactured.
No,
and
because
Teddy
he fought everyone that was there. Everyone that was there at that time fought.
Teddy Ellis will 100% agree with this
with the expense
he
of
would say the guys
Witherspoon.
that were afraid of him.
With the exception of Witherspoon. No, but they all, doesn't matter. He knocked them all out. There was nobody you could say in that era except maybe Witherspoon, who I contracted.
You could say the same thing about?
Who had contract issues with King at the time. Oh, except for Witherspoon, there is nobody Tyson didn't fight in that era. He knocked them all out. You can't say like, oh, but if he would have fought that guy, I don't know. No, with Davis, there's guys right now that have been hanging around for years. Yo, dude, when are you going to fight them? The lightweight division was stacked with talent. Even at 130, it had a lot of talent when he was there. Didn't fight almost any of them. So it's not the same thing as the Tyson era. You want to say anything about Tyson era? Fine. It wasn't as high level or something. He still knocked out everyone. There was nobody there in that era that you can say Tyson didn't fight.
Didn't say it was related. It was the same as the Tyson era. Didn't say it at all. I was actually going to say the opposite when you talk about
Floyd Mayweather's presence in the boxing world is still unmatched, and the rumors surrounding him say a lot. Many experts believe his interest in a potential showdown with Tyson shows he's not ready to fade away quietly. Even in retirement, Mayweather feeds off attention and competition, always looking for the next move that keeps his name shining. At this stage, it's less about money and more about protecting his legacy. Seeing Tank and Jake take over the headlines may have reignited that old spark in Floyd, reminding everyone that he still holds superstar status. Whether this Tyson talk turns into something real or just stays speculation, one thing is certain. Mayweather always makes sure the spotlight finds him.
Celebrities and so many people that are known where you can get somebody and they can sell tickets to events. That's what kicked off the social media influence boxing that Jake Paul was birthed from. Now we're in a vacuum. And so there's going to be a lot of conversation about that and continuing to do that. In this particular video, though, I want to get into the mind of Floyd Mayweather Jr. and why Floyd Mayweather Jr. would do this. There is the money, but there's also the competitive nature of Floyd Mayweather Jr. and him not wanting to have other people think that they're a bigger star than he is. Floyd Mayweather Jr. has not been able to really launch his star outside of the sport of boxing, so he continues to do exhibitions. Now, what I think is that Floyd Mayweather Jr. is announced it at this point in time with Mike Tyson in order to take advantage of the publicity heading into the Gervonta Davis, Jake Paul fight, which is, I do believe, set for November. So now that they have all the publicity and all that stuff coming out from that, he's going to piggyback on it and then try to have it in the beginning of next year sometime and actually make it a bigger event than Gervonta versus Jake Paul. And it probably will be. And the reason that I say that is because of Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson is bigger than Floyd. Let me say Mike Tyson. I think Mike Tyson's bigger than Floyd Mayweather. I still think his name is bigger than Floyd Mayweather, even though I know Floyd has made more money in the pay-per-views. And I think that had a lot to do with, again, social media area and otherwise. But the combination of Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Mike Tyson and the question about what is going to happen in that.
Eddie Hearn acknowledges that entertainment has always played a role in boxing, but he insists it can't become the core of how fights are made. He cautions that if social media popularity starts deciding who gets top-tier opportunities, the sport's integrity could suffer. In his eyes, Tank versus Jake is a crossover attraction, exciting for casual fans and profitable for promoters, but it raises questions about boxing standards. Hearn emphasizes that real competition and earned rankings should still come first. If the sport keeps bending to hype instead of merit, future fans might grow up believing celebrity matchups are the true measure of elite boxing. His message is clear. Boxing should stay rooted in the sport itself, not just a buzz created online.
A global business with investment and potential floats, and it's been a great challenge.
Away from that, obviously the DAZN deal is up next year. Are those talks underway to extend, or are you looking elsewhere? What can you tell me?
Yeah, no, they are. I mean, we're very happy with DAZN. I think what they've enabled us to do is to really have the global ambition and global strategy that I wanted, and that was really a big part of my mindset moving forward in boxing. We know there's a lot of other platforms out there that might have had broadcast deals end, that would be looking to replace those people, and we are very well respected in the space. I don't think it would be difficult for us to walk into another broadcast deal, but we're very happy with DAZN as partners. And as I said, the strategic element of that, I mean, when we talk about, the power list and stuff like that, we have international deals with DAZN in multiple markets, and obviously particularly the US market, which makes us unique as a business. And I actually believe that DAZN are in a fantastic place, particularly in the US market right now. And we are in deep talks to extend that relationship, and we're very happy with our broadcast partner.
Eddie, just whilst I've got you, obviously just a few things I'd like an update on. Last time we spoke, Anthony Joshua, Jake Paul seemed to be the front runner for you guys. Now we're getting Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis. What can you tell me about that? What can you tell me about why Jake and Anthony has maybe been put to the side for now?
Yeah, they always told us that it was, we were looking at that fight for February of next year, and they always said that there was a chance that Jake would fight in November. I think, wasn't I the one that broke Jake Paul against Gervonta Davis 6 months ago or something? I knew that they'd agree that deal. I didn't know they were about to announce it then, but I did know that they'd agreed that deal previously. So I don't like it, if I'm honest. I mean, I think we need to really differentiate between boxing and an entertainment concept, and that's what that is. It's a freak show. It's entertainment. It's a lightweight fighting a cruiserweight. With, I don't know, is it bigger gloves and certain minutes per round? I don't know what it is, but, I understand the market, and I understand this freak show shock kind of the world mentality of people potentially tuning in. Is that a step too far? Maybe. I mean, I hated Jake Paul against Mike Tyson, but it did massive numbers. I hate Jake Paul against Gervonta Davis. It'll probably do massive numbers. So that's when you really have to differentiate yourself between, just because you don't like it doesn't mean it isn't going to do good business. However you want to be involved with it, is another kettle of fish. I don't want to be involved with it, but I do respect the fact that it's going to do big numbers. It's just not boxing. And I don't think we should promote it as boxing.
In the meantime, then, Eddie, where does that leave you with Anthony Joshua? Are you exploring other options for the end of this year, or are you still looking at that fight for the beginning?
Yeah, no, we're not interested in the Jake Paul fight right now after that. I mean,
The host of the Wade Concept explains the psychological strategy behind Jake Paul's approach. Jake isn't just stepping into the ring. He's playing a calculated business game. He understands how to attract top-level fighters by putting wealth, spotlight, and massive paydays front and center. Instead of being bothered by criticism, he converts it into leverage. For someone like Tank, who thrives on proving people wrong, Jake's bold talk and confident attitude became the perfect bait. And it worked. Jake uses every viral moment to build influence, shaping himself as a disruptor who can pull elite names into his circle. In this situation, the mental chess game is just as crucial as whatever happens once the gloves are on.
Also, and again, Jake's only been boxing for 5, 6, 7 years now. It isn't necessarily far-fetched to try to have his own advantages when trying to fight other boxers that have been far more experienced than him. But this one's a little too much, right? This one is crazy because of the massive weight difference. It doesn't make a ton of sense. But again, as far as a sport fight is concerned, I want to make sure I make that clear. Again, this is not me hating on it, because I do think that both guys have been very upfront with what they're doing in this fight and what their goals are with these kind of events. But the narrative Jake's trying to create as if this is like proving anything for him fighting a real fighter when Gervonta is so much smaller than he is. It'll prove something in the fact that Jake is willing to put on great events, but it won't prove anything to the people that are asking him to fight a real fighter. I will say though, if Jake goes out and flatlines Gervonta, the casual audience that will say Gervonta smokes Jake completely and utterly, like it wouldn't even be close, that will change their minds a little bit. Not the people that know boxing, but the people that are going to watch this, the casual viewer that know the name Gervonta Davis and know the name Jake Paul. If he is to compete with Gervonta at all or look good in that fight, people will in some way accept that. Or they'll do the other thing where they just say the fight's rigged, which has never been the case, but you get what I'm saying. What Jake is doing is trying to convince a casual audience that he belongs in the ring with bigger names. If he's able to hurt Gervonta at all, that might actually do it.
The undefeated lightweight champion of the world with a record of 30-0, 28 knockouts. And this one is over!
The brick
He's been boxing since he was 5 years old and turned pro when he was 18.
Showbiz points out that saying Tank took this fight just for the paycheck is an oversimplification. Yes, the money is massive, but Tank is also fighting for pride, respect, and his legacy. The knockout bonus only adds fuel to the fire because it sends one message loud and clear. Tank isn't coming to cruise or play safe. When a fighter of his level is told that finishing the opponent brings an extra reward, the mindset shifts instantly. Every punch becomes intentional. Every round becomes a hunt for the ending. This isn't just about collecting money. It's about making a statement. One that ends with Jake Paul laid out, and the world reminded why Tank is considered one of the most dangerous finishers in the sport. Losing is simply not on the table when pride, reputation, and highlight reel history are at stake.
You guys told me that Gervonta Tank Davis is just taking this fight for a payday. He's just trying to get to the bag. Well, you got the fight itself, which is a payday, and you got a KO bonus on top of that, a big bonus. That's what Jake Paul said.
They're gonna get a big bonus.
And they got a side bet of $2 million.
Let's make it 2.
Y'all gonna shake on it? Yeah. Shake on it?
Shake on $1 million.
2 mil? 2 mil? 2 mil. Let's do 2 mil. Go get a shake.
Oh, they're shaking left here.
2 mil. There we go.
Oh my fuck.
Why not get the...
Analysts aren't giving Jake Paul much room in this matchup. Tank Davis operates with near instinctive awareness inside the ring. He reads body language, anticipates mistakes, and strikes the moment an opening appears with precision and frightening speed. Jake may hit hard, but landing clean on someone with Tank's timing and reflexes is a completely different challenge compared to the opponents he's faced before. Experts explain that once Tank closes the distance and locks into his rhythm, Jake will experience a level of sharpness and power that can't be simulated through training alone. Jake talks confidently, but Tank's experience is a different weight class of reality. One precise shot from Tank is all it takes to end the fight abruptly. reminding everyone of the vast difference between influencer boxing and true world-class skill.
Tank Davis look crazy, bro. Chilaquiles. Gervonta Tank Davis hitting a heavy bag in preparation for his Jake Paul fight November 14th down there in Florida. Man looks absolutely amazing. Man looks like a monster. Man looks like precision. Jake Paul cannot take those body shots. You mean to tell me somebody who done fought UFC fighters and a man with Parkinson's disease can take a body punch from Gervonta Tank Davis, and y'all basing y'all logic just because Jake Paul is big? No, Tank's gonna go ahead and put this man to sleep. I'm telling y'all that right now. If Tank don't put this man to sleep, he done let the black community down, he done let boxing down, and he ain't never been that nice. You Tank fans, y'all trying to give him a pass. If y'all said Tank is as skilled as y'all say he is, if he does not put Jake Paul to sleep and stop Jake Paul, his boxing career is absolutely voided. He already don't care about legacy, and just imagine he don't knock out Jake Paul, and now y'all gonna say it's not a real fight, it's an exhibition. No, we not giving no passes, bro. This Gervonta Tank Davis, he needs to put Jake Paul to sleep. I don't want to hear nothing about, oh, Jake Paul too big. No, Jake Paul chin ain't never been tested by somebody that hit as hard as Gervonta Tank Davis. Tank should put this man to sleep with ease. I say that respectfully. If you don't put him to sleep,
a 2-pack of ass. That shit stinks.
That's a 2-pack of ass at the highest level, and it's a musty energy at the highest level. Get it together. Get it together. Tank looks amazing. That's the Chilaquiles.
A boxer doesn't sugarcoat anything when discussing this fight. He jokes about the fans who brag that Tank is just securing another huge payday, saying they're missing the real point entirely. Gervonta Davis has already made more money than most fighters ever will. So earning another big check isn't the story here. What true fans want is competition. They want that feeling where every second matters, where one punch could flip the entire fight. The Boxer explains that boxing is fueled by tension, risk, and uncertainty, not just profit. People tune in for unforgettable wars and iconic moments, not spreadsheets and bank balances. To him, the sport must always value thrilling matchups more than financial headlines.
With Tank, and it's I kind of don't really care about the fight no more. It's starting to lose a little steam.
But I'm saying, I mean, if he stops Pitbull Cruz, right? I mean, don't you think that people would want to see, Lamont and Tank more due to the fact that, Tank had a hard time with Pitbull?
No. I think people just want to see Tank versus Lamont because Lamont, he had a hard time with Lamont. It's just like Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia. People just like controversy. People just like, you know what I'm saying? So people like to see finished business. They don't want to leave it unfinished. And that's what the intrigue is. They want to people want to see finished business. So, you know what I'm saying? I think that's the intrigue of the fight. And it doesn't make no sense why they taking so fucking a fight, Everybody keeps saying that Tank getting the money, but is we getting the fucking money?
Where every second matters, where one punch could flip the entire fight. The Boxer explains that boxing is fueled by tension, risk, and uncertainty, not just profit. People tune in for unforgettable wars and iconic